Hey, welcome in, Leo Collective. It is Laura, and we are going to jump right in, and we are going to get you a message for this powerful new moon solar eclipse happening in Aries on March 29th. And so we are at a karmic checkpoint, Leo, and it appears that you are in the midst of some type of chaos and conflict. And so we are at that final pivotal degree of closing out cycles of codependencies. I don't know if you're dealing with somebody that's been trying to change their stripes. We do see it is a 33 card, and so there is a master number coming through. This is the master teacher number. This number I feel is connected to Jesus consciousness or Christ consciousness. And so I think you need to get the bigger picture here. We see a zebra trying to change its stripes and trying to become a giraffe. And so a giraffe sees the higher picture, right? And so there is some type of chaos and conflict here. It can't be denied. And on the bottom of the deck, Leo, we have the by the book card. And so I think there's a moment of clarity. It kind of feels like something here is being dissolved, right? Looks like something here is being dissolved. And so I don't know if there is a lack of authenticity here. I don't know if you're in a connection where the communication has become stale or dry, but I feel you're in a portal of massive changes, right? And so real change usually doesn't happen, Leo, until we are thrown into the midst of chaos and conflict. And so I think this is a pretty powerful oracle message. I do think there's something here connected to ancestral karma, ancestral patterns. By the book for me is saying there's a need to kind of close a chapter here or close the book on maybe even seeking external validation. I don't know why I'm feeling that very strongly, but I do feel you're having a hard time navigating through a certain illusion that is probably dissolving. And so I kind of feel you are being invited to probably put in some boundaries. I do think there's a blurred line between the past and the future, and you might even be receiving some type of spiritual downloads here, but things are feeling so chaotic. I do think you're kind of in the eye of the storm is what I want to say. And I think it's kind of just time to wave the white flag. Like if you are fighting with somebody, if you are in a challenging situation, Spirit is saying, hey, people don't usually change their stripes. What you see is what you get. And so it is time for you to kind of rise above a situation, rise above a conflict, see the bigger picture. And I do think these eclipses are really asking you to navigate through a very difficult ending. I really do feel that this is just a very powerful reading of transformation. There's upheaval, and I don't think this upheaval can be avoided, especially when it comes to breaking generational curses. I want to say generational cycles, and this is connected to some type of an abandonment wound. And so I feel there's been so much resistance to change. Leo, you are a fixed sign, and oftentimes Leo has a hard time with external validation, right? And so I kind of feel you might be torn between an old version of yourself and maybe a new identity that's trying to emerge. And so I'm going to flip this card upright. I want you to have a good look at this card. And so whenever I see this card, it reminds me of the depiction of Olaf from the Frozen 2 movie, where he melts and leaves Anna in the cave by herself, and she has to keep putting one foot in front of the other and go it alone. And so I do think there might be fear about closing out a cycle due to some type of belief pattern or ancestral belief. It's a 5 card. And so that is showing me the energy of the Hierophant. And there could be a deep-seated wound of abandonment or feeling orphaned or feeling always rejected. There could be a rejection wound coming up here over the next little bit leading into the eclipse energy on the 29th. And we do have an energy of justice here. And so we've got 2 master numbers coming through. And I think there is a need to surrender to this change. I do think there is a new identity here emerging for you. And I do think you're kind of in a period, I want to say, of like a spiritual drought with the desert depiction on the card, where maybe things are feeling stagnant, or maybe things are feeling a little bit destabilizing as this new kind of emerges. And so we kind of see like the storm clouds in the background clearing. And so I just want to say change is imminent, Leo. And this eclipse energy, I feel, is kind of shaking things up for you, especially in, I want to say, how you view yourself. And there's another energy of the desert there. And so you could be dealing with a relationship here that has really played a key role in your purpose. And I'm having a hard time with needing to clear my throat. And so I do feel there's a need to clear the air. I want to say clear the air, clear up some type of communication blocks. I do think there's a cycle here that really is the energy of a facade, because you think of the dry desert and we get the mirages, right? In the desert, we get that facade energy, especially when it comes to something you're no longer meant to be connected to. And so I gotta say, I do feel there's a big challenge here in a relationship where I think two people are misaligned due to shifting energies, maybe on one or both parts. And so I do think there is a breakthrough though, because it looks like the clouds are breaking. It does look like the storm is breaking. And I also feel you are being called to break free from societal programming, familial programming, family programming, and a karmic cycle that I think has probably dictated your life up until now. These three elephants does kind of symbolize ancestral wisdom, but it's like you've not grasped the lesson. There is a paradigm shift here, I think, and you are being called to step into self-leadership. Endings really is not something to be feared. There's a breaking free, I feel, of a rigid belief or a family expectation even, or a group setting expectation where you've played into the cultural and the societal norms, or an old belief system here that no longer serves you. I feel is being released, and you've got to kind of redefine what stability means to you. I feel that's a big message here, especially in this period of change and chaos and conflict. They're now showing me the Five of Wands, and I don't know why I feel like I need to keep clearing my throat. So I don't know if you really just need to speak up. I do feel you are in this portal though of some type of rebirth, and there's a relationship shakeup. I want to say there's a relationship shakeup because it's connected to an old cycle. And I do think there is going to be this transformational process here that probably is going to feel a little bit lonely with that orphaned card, or a little bit unsettling at first, but it's going to lead you towards deep, long-lasting evolution, I feel is really the message. And so you kind of, Leo, I want to say is you are rewriting your story. You're not going to follow the rules anymore. You're not going to be confined by these old beliefs, this past cycle. And so trust that this chaos, this conflict, this storm is really guiding you to where you're meant to be. So let's see how the tarot energies play in to this message. There you are, Leo. We get the Strength reversed, and there's that indication of a rebirth or a transformation. The Lamb is a clear indication of a rebirth. And so I don't know if like your heart is outside of your chest. I feel massive heart energy coming through. That is your major arcana card, Leo, and we get the World. And so I feel you're not feeling strong enough. I just heard, do you believe in life after love? That Cher song just popped up in my head. And so there is a completion. There is a lesson, I want to say, coming full circle. And if you look at this World card, you can kind of see like the snake tail, and it's like the snake eating its own tail. And so I just feel like you've been going round and round and round and round in the cycle here with somebody, and you've got an opportunity to choose different with the Two of Pentacles. And so there is, what I want to say, a major realignment taking place for you. There is a lesson here coming full circle, and I kind of feel like there's a single person in the center of this World card. Some cards it's depicted as the alchemy of two individuals, but I feel this is a message about going your own way, embracing the path of individualism, I feel. And on the bottom of the deck, We get the Four of Cups upright. And so there is a stuck, stagnant energy here. There is a sense of boredom. There is a sense of disconnectedness, a sense of discontent. The Four of Cups is kind of this energy of depression, soul suppression, boredom, right? You just look bored. You look unhappy. It's almost like you're in a cycle with somebody where the party's over and you've got to learn to love yourself enough to break free from a stuck energy. And then we get the wheel reversed below the Four of Cups. And now we get the Two of Wands. So I feel there's this energy of denial. You've been in denial about how stuck a situation is, maybe hoping that it would grow again, that it would rebuild itself. But it's like the wheel in reverse is saying you're not moving forward here. If you're in a relationship, it's not going to move forward. There's no action. There's no moving forward. There's a lack of manifestation here. And there's some truth that needs to come out. And then we get the King of Wands. And so the King of Wands reversed to the Queen of Wands reversed. That's a separation. And so I don't know what energy you're resonating with out of this connection. I do think at one point in time, yeah, it felt like a true pair. We've got a feminine energy here that I feel is recognizing her worth again, her value. And we've got a very controlling, possibly even angry masculine energy that I feel is acting out of his ego. And I do feel the Seven of Swords is connected to this King of Wands in reversed. There's lies here, I want to say. There's secrets here. There could be somebody here that is lacking purpose, lacking drive, lacking motivation, lacking passion. And you've got to take back your power here is what I want to say. You've got to take back your power, Leo. And I do feel there's a separation. I do feel there's like a divinely guided separation here. And you are breaking free from societal norms, right? You are walking the path, I feel, of ascension. And it's really time to embrace this divinely guided ending. I feel something here is coming to a dead stop. You really need to take that time to go within and re-identify with yourself and shine that light, because below that Hermit card, there's that Five of Wands in reverse. And so stop the fight, release the chaos, release the conflict. Is it worth it, Leo? Do you want to be right? Or do you want to be happy? Because either way, that tower's coming in to break apart a false foundation. It's coming in fast. This is a part of your transformation. If you look, they're all like monarch butterflies coming out of this foundation at lightning speed. And it's to break you free from some type of trauma bond, I want to say, because you don't know your worth. You don't know your value. And it's kind of time to heal this. I feel it's time for you to recognize that you've got what it takes to go your own way here, Leo. This eclipse energy, Leo, I just feel is like a major turning point for you. I think it is centered around identity shifts, breaking a karmic cycle here without a doubt, and reclaiming back your personal power, right? I do feel this speaks really loudly to some type of personal transformation. There's definitely tension connected to closing out this chapter, almost like this energy, I want to say, of self-doubt or exhaustion, or just even maybe feeling disconnected from your own power, maybe questioning your identity as a whole. I think you're struggling to trust yourself. You're probably feeling drained, lacking energy, lacking strength. This really is demanding a lot of resilience. Maybe you've been too resilient for too long. You are completing a cycle, though. There is a cycle ending. There is a new phase beginning, but there is a need to realign your priorities. I don't know if you're dealing with somebody that's been playing games, right? The Two of Pentacles usually is an indication of juggling or playing games, or maybe somebody here is going to get caught. I don't know if I said that right. I feel like somebody here might get caught. There could be a choice between the past and the future, a choice between two, and maybe there's an unsure energy of which path to take, or maybe you're feeling somebody caught between two choices or two people. But I think the bigger picture here really is saying you're closing out a cycle. And I think you feel weak. I think you don't know if you can handle what this eclipse is pushing you into, because there's a very uncomfortable realignment here. And with all of this underlying energy, it's heavy. It's heavy. I think you're holding on because you're like, well, if I let go, is it going to be a missed opportunity? It's almost like you're stuck feeling like, You're in what I want to say is fate's waiting room. It's like you're waiting, waiting, waiting. And it's like the old cycle hasn't fully ended yet, but there's going to be a breaking point is what this feels like for me. There's going to be a breaking point. And I think there's so much fear connected to the unknown here, connected to the next path. And it's almost like you feel paralyzed with analyzing this whole situation and paralyzed about stepping into something new or leaving something behind that maybe you've been in for, I don't know, 14 years, 4 years. But I feel there's this major emotional crossroads. I feel that very strongly. And I do think fate is kind of rerouting you, and you're like, no, I'm not going to go in that new direction. But you've got to go in that new direction. Fate is saying you can't keep your foot stuck in the wheel any longer. And so there very well could be a power struggle here. There is some type of hidden truth here coming to light. It can be a confession. Somebody here could like angrily burst out some type of truth, and this could set you free. That's quite possible. I do feel this masculine energy is very ego driven. There's somebody here that doesn't have a whole lot of confidence. You could be dealing with somebody that is very controlling, that doesn't act out of integrity. And this is your true essence you're being asked to step into, Leo. This is you being confident, magnetic, stepping into self-leadership. This is you. This is the real you, Leo. It's emerging from the storm of this separation. This is you reclaiming your personal power. This is you reclaiming your self-worth. And so the big picture here is saying there is such a big energy imbalance. There's a big imbalance here. There's a very distorted masculine figure here that you're connected with. And maybe you've held on wanting to tell yourself, this is my twin flame. Twin flame energy does not go back and forth. A true divine masculine, a true divine counterpart is not controlling. They're not ego driven. They're not abusive. They have control over their inner masculine shadow self, right? And I do feel there's a need to release some type of, I want to say, karmic conditioning. Some type of conditioning connected to an outdated belief that keeps you stuck in cycles of somebody trying to exude control or authority over you. And so this really is a time where you redefine your spirituality. You redefine what your personal identity means to you. And so there really is an energy here of breaking free from a traditional way of doing relationships. I think you are learning to let go of control too. Not everything makes sense right away, right? Not everything is going to make sense. So you've got to trust in your inner power, even if you feel weak right now, because to break generational curses is not for the faint of heart. It takes a lot of strength, right? Even when you feel weak. Even if you feel weak, you're being called to stop the pattern, to break free from the generational structure that has kept you looped in the same pattern so you can step into authenticity, right? This is a message, I think, of knowing your worth, knowing your value. What I want to say is tell yourself this eclipse. Tell yourself, I am capable of releasing outdated beliefs. I am capable of reclaiming my power. Trust that the storm is clearing your path. You are ready to step into this truth. So let's get you a closing message. Maybe we could get an advice card, but let's see what the final message is. Energetic cords. Yeah, you are being asked to clear your aura, to clear your energy of this very unhealthy attachment. I think maybe you've held on due to the memories. There's a very unhealthy energy here that needs to be released, that needs to be renewed. And so I'm not a huge fan of cutting energy cords. You have to unhook yourself from the pattern or you're going to keep going back. So get ready to unhook yourself from a pattern. Get ready to cut the cord. And then maybe when this lesson is complete, you'll be asked to share what it is that you've learned. And so I think you're gaining wisdom, you're attaining knowledge through this experience, and it might serve you to step into being some type of leader, with this clearing, with this message, stepping into a visionary leader. And so maybe you are also here to be a way shower and to light the way for people. And so that's what I got for you, Leo. Let me know down below if this message resonated. Don't forget to like the video, comment on the video, and share the video, especially if it resonates